Welcome to another episode of Ronin's Den. This is, if you don't know us by now, this is Eric and my partner and co-host Steve, and we got a pretty special episode for you today here.
So originally, this is our interview week in a month. As you know, we're trying to format, and the last weekend of the month, last Saturday, we're doing a one-shot. The week after that, we do a follow-up. The week after that, we're doing reaction videos, and then this would have been the third week, which should be an interview. But after signing someone up for an interview, I did a little more research into the project that they were creating, and it was brought to my attention that they used AI-generated art within their product. And Ronin's Den, we have taken a stance against AI art. We believe that it is theft, and we believe that if you are using it within your product, you should not be platformed, and we will not be platforming anyone who uses AI-generated art. Our friend Jeffrey N. Baker is an artist. Our friend Hilarious, who does Legends of Kralis, hires artists for their work. It doesn't feel right to screw over artists and steal from them with AI-generated art. So, that being said, today we are going to be bringing up a topic that is quite controversial, and that is AI art, specifically regarding Wizards of the Coast. So, Duality, why don't you take it away?
So after we got the news of the guests that we were going to have and we can no longer have for the reasons of them using AI, I started delving a little bit deeper into AI being used within the hobby. And there's a little bit of a timeline here with Wizards of the Coast that's a little concerning. AI art within D&D, I want to say, got its biggest spotlight when Bigby's Glory of the Giants was coming out, where people looked at some of the images and it was just blatantly AI generated. And when you're paying $50+ for a book, that's just not right. Wizards went in the damage control mode and said they had no idea that AI art was a thing. They did not know the person used it. I believe in one of the articles, not this one that I have in front of us right now, they said they thought that the artist used it to touch things up and not generate the image itself. But they used it to generate the image is what everything came down to at the end.
Which I don't know how they could have possibly not known when you went to that person's Twitter, X, whatever it's fucking called now. When you go to their Twitter, they literally have in their handle, I create generative AI art.
Yeah.
Like, was it? But, fool me one time, okay. I would be willing to give a pass one time.
Yes.
One time.
And Wizards said at that point, on August 10th is when the article came out, so this was probably a few days prior or a day prior, that they are going to ban artists from using AI art generation for Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering.
Which they should have.
Yep. Now, this may not initially look connected, but on December 13th, a reporter named Chase Carter came out with an article, and this was well known. This was a big story in the community where D&D and Magic the Gathering designers, artists, and producers, about 1,000 of them, more than 1,000, lost their jobs shortly before Christmas. And everybody was rightfully pissed off about that. Rightfully so. That is a garbage thing for any company to do. Lay off anybody before Christmas, let alone 1,000 people. And these aren't just I'm having a hard time coming up with a way of saying it, but these were the everyday names. These were the people that have fans of their artwork in the system. Like, there are people that say, I like that particular artist's drawings in my books, or I love the cards that were made by this artist. And they were gone, laid off shortly before Christmas. It wasn't too long after that, January 8th, we get another article about Wizards of the Coast doing something bad. Now, I just want to take a quick break here on this and just say, how often does Wizards of the Coast do something bad? Like, we could set a calendar to watch to this stuff almost. But
you can set it to about every 3 months. Something comes up.
yeah.
And you can go back years. There's a controversy every 3 months with Wizards of the Coast.
But with this topic, it was an accelerated path. It really was. Because January 8th, another article comes out. This time, they got caught using AI art after they had said that they had banned it from use. This time in Magic the Gathering cards. They didn't put out a new D&D book in that time frame, but Magic the Gathering cards were found to have AI art after the ban went into place. Now, we're recording this episode on March 16th, 2024. January 8th, 2024. December 13th, 2023. August 10th, 2023. Yesterday, March 15th, Chase Carter put out another article where D&D, Hasbro has said, the Chris Cooks, this horrible, horrible person, says D&D and Magic the Gathering have compelling cases for the use of AI art. Chris Cook envisions mining the tabletop adventures and trading cards for the toy company's AI-powered future. Didn't take them too long to go from banning it to getting caught to using it to just saying, screw it. We're jumping in with both feet. Now, through some of these articles, they say that they are going to always side on the side of human artists. Doesn't look like they're doing that.
Well, if you're using any AI generative art in your product, you're not siding with the human artists. You're stealing from the human artists. And a billion-dollar corporation like Hasbro has no business doing AI generative art. The only reason they're doing it is to put money in their pockets. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
They want more money. They want more money in their pocket and less money in the hands of creators and artists. And this pattern, how quickly they went from banned to being caught using it. What was it? August to January? September, October, November, January. 4 months. That's it. After they laid off a bunch of artists. Like, you cannot tell me that this was not planned. You cannot tell me that Big B's, they knew. They come out and they said they didn't. And at the time, I was like, okay, one time I guess I would be okay with... I didn't believe them, but you know what? If it doesn't happen again, maybe you'll get the benefit of the doubt. No. And then the thing with the Magic the Gathering AI art is they lied. They came out and said, no, it's not generative art. This is a new card design we're looking into. Then the community pushed hard enough that Wizards of the Coast came out and said, you know what? We did use AI art. We're sorry. We won't do it again. And now apparently there's an AI generative future? Like, there's an AI future for Wizards of the Coast products.
You know,
you're shitting me, right? Like, do they think we're dumb?
So, two things. One, I never thought that I would move to living in a society where the robots are doing all of the creative work and all the people are toiling in the mines with the mindless tasks. You know, technology was supposed to free people from doing the mindless tasks and allow them to pursue creative avenues. It's going the other way. Do they think we're stupid? I don't think so. This is controversial as well, but I think that there's just a lot of people who just don't really care. As long as they get their product, they don't care if it's AI generated or not. All they care about is they get the next book on a release schedule. They get their next cards as quickly as possible. And, you know, they don't. There's also the group of people that'll say, hey, it's the future, but is it?
Well, sadly, it definitely is the future. But the problem is it's looking very bleak for creative minds. And the one thing I want to bring up with what you just said is like the people who the machines are doing the artwork. The AI generative art isn't art.
No.
It's not creating art. A person can get a vision in their mind and paint it and make it beautiful. That's creativity. The AI generative art is a program that people have gone online, stole thousands of images, plugged them into the AI. The AI picks parts based on the prompt you put in and spits you out an image. You theoretically could put in Van Gogh's A Starry Night and literally get Van Gogh's The Starry Night, because AI art is not creating.
No.
It's not enhancing. It is literally going through those thousands, if not millions of images that have been put into its program illegally and spitting you out something that it thinks you will like.
Yep.
It's not creative. Now, on a technological sense, that's fascinating. But the fact is, it's still theft.
Mm-hmm.
It's theft. And I don't care how you spin it. And for a company like Wizards of the Coast, and here's my issue with Wizards of the Coast. I was going to bring it up before the stream, but I'm bringing it up right now. Wizards of the Coast has no reason to do generative AI.
Right.
They have literally 40 years of art or more. What was it?
50.
1970?
Yeah.
50 years of art in their catalogs. They could never pay another artist and use all of the art they have now, and it would not look different. It would not impact them. They are choosing to choose the most evil way to create art. Go back to second edition art and bring it into the future. Put out a book with all second edition art. I guarantee you people would love it. The art in second edition, it was a little coarser, it was a little less vibrant, but it was beautiful art. They have all these other avenues they could take to not pay artists, and they're choosing the one that is literally theft.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
No, neither do I. Like you
plus,
said, forgiveness. Oh, go on.
They're a $1 billion corporation. They could afford to pay an artist.
Yeah.
Hell, we're poor and we afforded to pay an artist.
Yeah. Took us a while to get there, but we hired a wickedly good artist too. God, yeah. I can't wait to see what they do for us. I really can't. I'm so excited for it.
Yeah, me too. But anyway, so what does this mean though? Like, what do they mean by an AI generative future? Are they really going to think they're going to keep people buying their product? I mean, you said it though. There are people that are going to buy their products no matter what. I mean, after the Spelljammer debacle with literally no content in those books, people are still buying them. I don't get it.
Yeah. What do they hope to get out of it? They're, like you said it, they're a $1 billion company.
That's what they hope.
Yeah, they're a $1 billion company. What does business in a capitalistic society not want to do? Pay people. They want to pay as little as humanly possible and take all of the profits that they can. It's not tabletop related, but it's like why you go to Walmart, and there are some Walmarts now that don't have a single live person working the checkout counters. They are all 100% self-checkout automated systems. If Wizards can get around paying the most expensive parts of their deal, like if they can feed, like you said, they have 50 years worth of texts. They have 50 years worth of art. I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of images that is, or hundreds of thousands of words that is. But if they can feed all of that into an AI system, type in a prompt, and have some Frankenstein's monster spit out, and they never have to pay another writer, and they never have to pay another artist, and all of that money can go to their shareholders and to the CEO, that's what they're going to do. That's what they're hoping for.
I just looked it up. I remembered an article right now. And this article came out... Get out of here, ads. This article came out on December 12th, 2022. So a year before the layoffs. D&D is under monetized, according to the CEO of Wizards of the Coast.
I remember that.
They wanted... Yeah, I just thought of it now. Their goal is they believe that D&D is not making enough money.
Mm-hmm.
It's their breadwinner. D&D makes... And Wizards of the Coast... Let's say Wizards of the Coast, not just D&D.
Yeah.
But Wizards of the Coast makes Hasbro the most of their profits.
Yeah.
The most. D&D is very monetized. You put a book out every 3 or 4 months that people buy no matter what you put in it. People are paying for monthly subscriptions to D&D Beyond. They're rebuying their books on D&D Beyond. What do you mean by more monetized? Well, number one, we have to pay artists. Well, how do we get around that? AI generative art. Oh, we have to pay writers. How do we get around that? Well, ChatGPT. ChatGPT means we don't have to pay the writers. Like, this is where Wizards of the Coast is going. This is where D&D is going. And I know it's going to piss people off, but they're not going to stop until people refuse to buy their products. You have to stop supporting Wizards of the Coast. At this point, if you are supporting Wizards of the Coast, if you are playing D&D and monetizing yourself off of it, if you are playing D&D and promoting it, if you are buying the newest product from D&D, you are telling artists you don't care about them. You're telling writers you do not care about them. You are telling people within this industry that already struggle to make a living in this industry that you do not care about them. You care about one thing, and that is your game, which, whatever, I understand you like your game, but you should not love something so much that you can see the suffering of others. Yeah. That's my opinion on it.
Well, so I remember that article that you're talking about, because that's when I went deep into D&D Beyond is going to become a microtransaction-ridden hellscape. You want a different color dice?
And guess who it was?
Yeah.
It was Chris Cox.
Yeah.
Chris Cox said it.
Of course. CEO of Hasbro. So I remember that article. Now, something I want to add onto what you just said about, monetizing and all of that, like yourself. I don't think if you already own D&D books, don't throw them out. That's foolish. If you enjoy playing the game around the table with your friends, you don't have to stop doing that either. But like you said, stop buying the new products from Hasbro Wizards. If you want to consume 5th edition content, 5th edition as a rule system has other companies out there that have made products that utilize that rule set. It's their original content, and they are ethical companies. Now, one of them, MCDM, is making their own TTRPG. So I doubt we're ever going to see any more D&D or 5th edition products from them. But they're one of the most ethical producers of 5e content. Kobold Press. Oh, I'm sorry. Go on. You're the MCDM expert.
MCDM, the standard for how much you pay a writer in the TTRPG space is about 7 to 8 cents a word. I know Wizards of the Coast only pays about 3 to 5. MCDM pays 25 cents a word. And the reason they chose that number, according to Matt Colville, the founder of MCDM, I want to be able to sleep at night, is the exact words out of his mouth. Artists, he doesn't pay for a piece of art. He pays them to start. He pays them per revision, and then he pays them a final amount. In fact, artists that I've talked to that do art for MCDM say that they have underbid what MCDM actually ended up paying them. Like, they gave an amount and MCDM told them, no, we're not going to pay you that little. You need to make money. And they raised the price. They wouldn't tell me what the amount was, and that's none of my business. Yeah. But whatever the artist said, this is what we charge, MCDM came out and said, no, screw you. You are undercutting yourself, underselling yourself. We're going to pay you a lot more than that. Companies like MCDM deserve your money, and they have a bunch of very good 5th edition products. Continue.
Flea Mortals. You know, we covered that early on in the show. Hands down, one of the best bestiaries for 5th edition. The challenge rating system they came up with in there works, whereas the one for 5th edition in the Monster Manual didn't. Kobold Press is another one that, as far as all of my research to date, is an ethical company for 5e content. They have all their own stuff, and they pay their artists, they pay their writers, and they're not looking for ways to eliminate them from the process. Because let's be completely honest with what Wizards is trying to do. They want to eliminate writers and artists.
It's that. If you want a couple other really good ones, no, Goodman Games had something. No, Frog God. Don't buy Frog God. I don't know what they did, but everybody tells me they're shitty. But Goodman Games is one. Mage Hand Press is one. Arcane, I think it's like Arcane Eye. There's a lot of really good companies out there that are third-party content creators creating 5th edition products. Go support them. Give them your money. And back to the Kobold Press thing. Look at their Tome of Beasts and their Creature Codex, and tell me that those do not have more love and care and desire to please the audience than the Monster Manual for 5th edition. Like, Wizards of the Coast is a shell of what it once was, and even what it once was wasn't that great compared to some of these other companies.
Yeah.
They don't want to pay their artists. They don't want to pay their writers. They want to completely sap you, the creator, for as much money as they possibly can. They want to monetize everything. They want you to pay as much as possible and them to reap all the benefits 100% so they can have money in their pockets.
Yeah. Well, I think we've said about all we can say on this topic for today without getting into
ranting.
Yeah, old men screaming at clouds. So I think we'll stop the AI conversation here.
Well, I want to say one final thing.
Okay.
If you want to be a guest on Ronin's Den, we are always looking for guests. But if you've created a tabletop role-playing game product and we find out you use AI art, we are not going to platform you. We're probably never going to talk to you after that. And if anybody asks us about your product, we're going to tell them the truth about your product. So don't come to us if you have AI-generated art, because we are firmly against AI art.
Very much so. So let's see. What did we talk? We talked about the AI art with Wizards. We did the timeline, which is deeply troubling and not at all surprising. And it makes a lot of sense now when you look at the progression of events as to what happened. We're getting our new logo. We're getting a whole bunch of stuff from Jeffrey Baker from When Suddenly. We've talked a little bit previously about how we're going to be doing some rebranding here, reformatting our show. And the next episode that's coming out is going to be our one-shot event for Savage Riffs with Jim Has Fun Online, DMing it for us. The Dragon X here gets to play a dragon!
A dragon! I'm playing a real dragon. I get to be a dragon in a game where I'm actually a dragon, not like a dragonborn or something like that. It is legitimately a dragon. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think you're going to really enjoy it if you watch it. I know I'm going to have fun. Who doesn't want to play a dragon?
Right? And I'm getting to play a glitter boy, which is probably completely different from what the image you just got in your brain of if you didn't know what Riffs is. I'm going to be just a normal human being who's going to be riding around in a 9-foot humanoid power armor, kind of like a Tony Stark suit, but completely chrome with a gigantic railgun on its back that when it gets fired, it makes sonic booms. It's called the Boom Gun. Very creative name.
Why is it called the Glitter Boy?
So, because the armor is completely chrome and it sparkles, it glitters. Also, it's laser resistant. So if you were to hit it with a laser beam, the laser kind of shatters because it disperses it, and it takes minimal damage from laser weapons. So when you hit it with laser guns, it kind of looks like a glittering disco ball.
All right. But yeah, that's what we've got going on here at Ronin's Den. Next month, our format is going to be a little off. Our guest next month is going to be Emily Graymore from TikTok. She is a wonderful creator, and she is creating her own tabletop role-playing game, where we're going to have her on the 6th of April. Instead of the interview being on the 13th, it's going to be on the 6th. And on the 13th, we are going to have our breakdown of Savage Riffs. And then on the 20th, we will be doing our reaction videos. So a little bit of a switch in the time frame, but you should definitely keep an eye out. I think all of those are going to be a blast. And please, if you have not, like, share, and subscribe. It would mean the world to us to have you come back and join us permanently.
And keep an eye out. Like we said, we are going to be reformatting. We're going to be having a new home on YouTube. Our Spotify, Apple Play, Google Podcast, and Amazon Podcast are all going to stay the same. But we are going to have a new home on YouTube with a actual dedicated Ronin's Den podcast site.
Also, we are going to be branching into the realm of TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and we're going to be streaming to Twitch when we do the podcast as well, but that is a ways off. We have to figure out how to do Twitch.
Yes.
But yeah, keep an eye out. We plan to be expanding, and as said before, we're always looking for guests, people to come on and talk to us about their product or just about things they want to talk about within the industry. So reach out to either me or Eric. You can find him at GM Duality Complex everywhere on the internet. You can find me at _dragon_x everywhere on the internet. Reach out to us and let us know. We would love to have you on.
Awesome. Well, have a good day, and we will catch you again next week.